It is with a degree of reticence that I respond to your front page article today. Dunblane father, Johnson totally unsuitable to be PM. The Herald, December 9. Reticent because I'm only too well aware of the unimaginable pain that Dr Mick North must endure after the death of his daughter and the awful Dunblane massacre of 1996. However, I do feel that I must point out the very real danger posed by Jeremy Corbyn when it comes to our safety and security. Mr. Corbyn has consistently supported and given credence to extreme terrorist organizations, not only abroad in the form of Hamas and Hezbollah, but much closer to home with the IRA. The records tell us that the IRA are held responsible for as many as 1,800 deaths and committed thousands of attacks over many years. How is it credible that someone who supported the IRA's stance should be allowed anywhere near the office of Prime Minister? In Scotland alone, Jeremy Corbyn's stance on Trident and his dubiety over the question of a second referendum are a threat to our security in themselves. How would an independent Scotland ever be able to defend itself? This is a question that neither the SNP nor anyone else has ever been able to give a convincing answer to. Boris Johnson might not be everyone's cup of tea, but he is clearly offering leadership and cue way out of the political paralysis that this country has experienced in the last 3 years. Mr. Corbyn has spent this time facilitating this paralysis, and it would only continue under his proposed premiership, an unthinkable prospect. I have no affiliation to any political party, but I know that the only option offering a clear way forward is Mr. Johnson. It's imperative that we recognise the dangers that the alternatives offer. Arbe Pillar, Fenwick. Like most, if not all, residents of Dunblane, I was appalled to discover that Boris Johnson had previously made crass and completely insensitive comments about the awful tragedy in Dunblane in 1996. In the aftermath of the tragedy, residents of Dunblane initiated the Snowdrop campaign to seek changes to UK gun laws. This campaign received widespread public support and was successful in achieving a complete ban in the private ownership of handguns in 1997. This was the same year that Mr. Johnson was making his ridiculous claims comparing the confiscation of handguns to model train sets and stamp collections. Not only do his comments demonstrate a complete lack of empathy with the plight of those such as Dr. North and the other parents who lost their children in the Dunblane tragedy of 1996, but Mr. Johnson seems deliberately to have gone out of his way to be grossly insensitive and downright offensive. Mr. Johnson is well known for his racist and homophobic comments as well as insulting single mothers, but I find his comments about the Dunblane tragedy to have lowered his stand. For more on this story, visit the news article link.